Does RGB make the convergence go faster? Find out this week on The Hapless Heroes.
Yeah, I'm actually surprisingly calm standing next to you for some reason.
Yes, I know. It feels great, doesn't it?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and tonight I am your host and DM as we reach potentially the climax of this particular adventure in time, or at least the climax of this attempt at this adventure in time. So, I'm going to introduce my cast before we get into anything too crazy. Starting on my virtual left, we have Dave as Zero, Valence Avatar of War.
Good evening.
Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Always at my service.
Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
Everything's so shiny.
Zach as Pregnart.
This card is all that.
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
All right, here we go.
And John as Lord Jarrell the Light.
How much damage could one Modron do?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Last time, y'all had finished the hamstercism. Boris had disguised herself and Filbert as different ladies and worried a poor college student who was supposed to be their chaperone and lost them. And we inexplicably had Hedrick return to the group without ever actually talking about how Hedrick got back to the group. He's just here. And just deal with it. He's a grown-ass man who knows how to get around and had a good idea of where the fuck his friends were. So, moving on. I'm saying this as if someone's already complained to me about this, and no one's complained to me about this, but I'm just saying. Anyhow, we're reaching peak convergence. There was a bit of a change. Filbert was talking to you a little bit about what was supposed to happen with this Modron and this whole plan that was supposed to happen before you all intervened, kind of kidnapped him, but told him about what was going on and just spilled the whole beans about the fact that you're from the future and all this stuff. And so he chose not to go along with this plan he was going to previously have regarding this convergence. And now something is happening that no one is expecting. Where there's some sort of helix-style light moving up this pillar of like magic that's just firing up into the night sky as far as the eye can see, and now intersecting with the moon. And Filbert seems to be the first one that actually looks concerned. There's a lot of still oohs and ahs from the people, but if you were to look in the direction of, I had mentioned like Ebenezer and a whole bunch of the other higher ups in the school are gathered by the steps. They were going to probably say some things, and now also looking up at it in sort of like a wonder. No one seems to be panicking, which is a good sign? ?
Filbert, do you know what is exactly supposed to happen through this?
I mean, all I know, or at least what I was told, was that, during this convergence, the lines between certain planes and worlds and whatnot are a little bit thinner. So we can things are just, there's a bit more of magic flowing, I guess, between and from and to all of those places. I don't know. A lot of this stuff was over my head, man. I just knew what my role was in it, and I thought I could do something good with it. There was going to be a whole ritual, like it was going to be a whole thing.
Well, I can tell you rather assuredly that you're doing something good about it right now, helping us.
I hope so, but this seems kind of weird, right?
If we need to go We have a plan.
You do? What's the plan?
And 0 points at Filbert first. You go. Points at Hedrick. You scry. The rest of us get in her pockets. And if we need to go, Hedrick dimension doors himself and Boris. The rest of us go along for the ride.
Oh, now that's an interesting concept.
That's
I don't know if that's like I don't even care if it breaks the rules of the spells. Like that's just such a creative that's such a creative combination of like all of those abilities that I can't help but say that that's
Not
just
to
cool.
mention, we have precedent for people going in the pockets for up to 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. You can
The count
absolutely
of
do that.
pockets is more than the number of people getting in.
However, is there a
What?
weight limit? Is there a weight limit to how much can be carried in all of your pockets of holding?
A total of 500 pounds and a total of 64 cubic feet. And we'll note there is a lot of shit already in these pockets.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
per pocket?
No, that's the total.
Oh, okay. There are potential
Individual
complications
item
there.
can be up to a 5-foot cube, but it can't be a total of 64
Yeah.
cubic feet.
The 500 pounds
We
thing
sh-
poses
we
a
s-
problem with my bulky
Yeah.
ass.
And we stretched the whole 5-foot cube thing a little bit because obviously, like, some people are taller than 6 feet, right? But like, that's still like you can like,
Well, it could fit in a
You know.
5-foot cube by hunching.
yeah. So like, it's not like it's super comfortable. Like we had the little flavor for Felix's bag of holding, but really, that could be different too. Like who knows? He's got a whole fucking undead butler in there.
It would be pretty
So-
tight in my armor pockets, is all we're saying for sure. Like,
Yeah, you might be able to carry. I mean, listen, you were able to carry Filbert.
yeah, but with this many people, like, just somebody's gonna be squished next to like a hellhound skull. Somebody else is gonna be like hanging out with,
Or
a
like
bunch-
sticking out of the pockets like halfway.
Yeah, since I think Zero saying he weighs 450 might be generously low.
Yeah. I don't think Jarrell
Like
would
three
be able.
Cs.
I think Jarrell would not be able to fit in there with anybody else either.
Love the plan, but we do have limitations. I don't want to be the spoiler of fun because again, I love this idea, but
So if
unfortunately,
we build a giant
it does
wooden
not.
badger.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Boris can be interdimensional taxi cab.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, for Quinn and Pregnart,
I guess it'd be more like a clown car than a taxi cab.
they could probably both fit, but there's no way Jarrell or Zero would be able to also. I don't think Jarrell or Zero could go by themselves with Boris.
well, I can dimension door 3 times. So once there, once back, and once there again. And then I will not be able to dimension door at all. Scrying only lasts for 10 minutes. So
I
then
should
I'm gonna
mention-
have to play longer and harder if I want to keep scrying.
Disembodied voice of the ether will remind you that Filbert did say the only way in and out of this place is via teleportation, because any of the physical access tunnels that were used to build this place to begin with have been sealed off. Teleportation is the only way to access these secure locations.
So, for the record, at least steps 1 and 2 still work, as we can still send him since he can teleport directly there, and we can scry on him because he would be a willing creature.
Yeah.
So we would be able to know what's going on. It's the affecting what's going on that things get a little sticky.
And Filbert says, yeah, and obviously, like, I'm using my dad's wand, so like I would be able to cast some of these spells without any suspicion because he's got certain enchantments and certain things on here that allow him to do, well, pretty much whatever he wants. You guys might have a bit of a harder time doing that right here in the middle of everything.
We would certainly have to go somewhere else before we tried it.
Filbert keeps as he's talking with you guys, he's constantly looking up into the sky, he's his attention is going back and forth between the conversation and looking at what's happening. He's like, something just doesn't feel right still.
A couple things Jarrell would be able to do.
Oris is gonna grab Filbert while Jarella's deciding there. Not, like grab him by the hand and just pull him slightly aside, not far from everybody, just a couple of feet away with, whisper distance. And say, hey, just in case this thing goes sideways and we need to do this again, I want you to tell me something that you would never tell anybody else so that I can get you to trust me faster and we don't have to go through all this shit again.
Okay. When I was 12, I accidentally turned my pet cat into a bat. And it flew away and never came back. I just told my parents it ran away. It was that polymorph spell only lasts for like an hour, so like my cat was probably somewhere out there in the woods, and it's a very shameful moment in my history as a spellcaster.
And you described the cat to me. Maybe I could scry on it.
You really want to try to find the cat.
Over to our side conversation, like peering over Filbert's shoulder.
Listen, no. This is
issue.
perfect because last time, right? Like Hedrick just kind of showed up, and like no one even realized that he was here, right? So like yeah.
He's learning from Boris.
I mean, Hedrick really is a sponge. He uses the people around him to kind of just lift himself up. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. I love that. Filbert just says, actually, it's been years, and that cat is probably dead. Which really sucks. But I never told anyone else that. Okay, so like that's it. Like you just like his name was Jinx, and he was a gray and black, like striped tabby.
All right, that'll work.
He sounds real nice, Filbert.
Sorry about your cat, Pat.
It's okay.
Jarrell,
another mistake in the long line of Filbert fuck ups that you see him like get a little like upset with himself again.
Hey, there's no need for that. Don't worry. You're here with us. We're gonna do everything we can.
Yeah, we're really good at failing up.
You see Jarrell walking closer to what's the convergence point? The main beam.
Ley line.
Yeah.
And a lot of that area is like sectioned or like roped off, so you can't get like too close.
Sure. How close can I get?
I mean, you're probably about 50 feet from like the actual base of the structure.
Okay. It's still worth a shot. Jarrell will use his divine sense, at least to check to see if there's anything within that 60 feet.
So something weird happens when you do that, Jarrell. Your divine sense is pointing you towards the direction of like where the ley line is, but you're not getting a sense of like a type of something. It's like everything all at once.
Okay. So like all the different kinds of things are in there somehow.
Kinda. It's hard to say, right? Because it's almost like, if you were to think of your divine sense as a compass, it's like spinning in fucking circles.
Right. Doesn't make me feel any better or worse, really. I wasn't sure what to expect from that. I can't reach it with my other detect stuff because those are 30 feet max.
Also, spells. We have to be very cognizant about the fact that casting spells here. We've been here before.
Yeah,
we know
but
what happens.
At this point, it seems like the teachers
Divine
might...
sense is not necessarily like a spell, right? It's an
Yeah,
ability.
that's just an ability.
So that's different, right?
But even the spells, like, I think that after the exorcism I just performed, they might be okay with me double checking that nothing else is in the area trying to fuck
That's
with
fair.
shit.
That's fair. I mean, I can't
But
blame you for that.
I can't reach it anyway. So I
Okay,
can't.
But that's
I'm
fair.
not able to do it.
I'm sure that argument would hold up in court for sure. We've been having this conversation, right? Some time has passed. This helix is still sort of like, again, this almost like rainbow helix is sort of just still swirling up towards the moon. The moon has this almost like shimmering aura around it now, and you can actually hear at this point now some of the professors from the school have started to speak to the crowd. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for gathering here and bearing witness to one of the most historic celestial events we've ever seen in our history. We don't quite know what to expect, as something like this has not happened in, well, all of our lifetimes, actually all of our lifetimes, even the elves among us, and you hear some chuckling, we hope that, if anything were to happen, or if there's something unexpected were to happen, please just listen to the instructions of the fellows here at the tower. We will provide whatever instructions if we need to, maybe adjust our seating. We don't know quite what to expect. But for now, enjoy the show, and it's history. Is the best commencement speech I can come up with on the fly. So,
Yeah.
Look, guys, gravitas costs extra.
Listen, okay, like it's one of those things where it's like, it's an event of such scale that it's hard to quantify, because it's like, for some it's awe-inspiring. Right, and a lot of the folks, there's like conversations happening now and again, some more oohs and ahs, and just people like wondering, I guess, what to expect here. You can see some looks of concern a little bit on some of the powdered wig folk as they're looking up into the sky. Would anyone else taking a look at the sky? Anyone else looking at some things?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jarrell's trying to pay attention at this point.
Yeah, Hedrick's definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he would be aware of what's going on in the sky, but he's also looking at the reactions of the crowd. Anyone he feels like would be of a real significance, he would like to cast detect thoughts.
Okay, so you would get surface level thoughts without anybody knowing.
Yeah, that's all he wants right now.
Who are you targeting with that?
Ebenezer.
I would want to say Ebenezer. They don't have to make a save.
Not unless you try to probe deeper.
Yeah, but then they know as soon as the spell's over, they know somebody's wondering what they're thinking.
Only if you probe deeper, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So Hedrick's going to focus on that. I want perception checks from anybody looking into the sky.
I think it's
Nat
impossible
20.
not to at this point.
Ooh.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Pregnart. I'm going to tell you
Oh
something.
God, it's Pregnard who knows it. Oh God damn it!
But let's hear the rest of the numbers just to make sure that we're also parsing information through other people potentially.
Right.
So Quinn,
I got 21.
Boris, were you looking into the sky?
I would have looked at the sky and then also been keeping my eye on Ebenezer, but I feel like Boris has a good enough perception to be able to at least.
You literally took the feat of being aware of shit all the time.
So yes, I have definitely been looking into the sky as one of my main focus points, and 23. Okay. I did not get fancy there.
Jarrell?
Nope. Just gonna go with a nope.
Just a nope, and then 0.
It's impossible not to, but I mean, there's a lot going on, so 13.
Okay. Pregnart.
Oh yeah, lay it on me. I'm watching. I'm listening.
So what I will say that everybody who did get above a 20, you will notice and recall that. So last reset, when the convergence was happening, when you looked at the sky, you almost saw as if like the axis of rotation of like your planet had changed, right? Things were almost spinning around this, like, whereas the ley line was sort of the anchoring point and like things were rotating around it. That's not happening this time. However, you do see the backdrop behind the you would expect, to see some movement, right? Like, the moon should be moving, right? Continuing to move beyond this apex point and moving further. It is still firmly in its place.
Okay.
And same with the backdrop of the sky. Like, nothing is moving except for this rotation of light going up this, like, beam of magic. And there appear to be some looks of concern. So I guess, Hedrick, you are doing surface level detect thoughts on Ebenezer?
Let me clarify. It is concentration up to 1 minute. They have to be within 30 feet of me.
They are not currently.
Regardless of whether I probe deeper, they will know I am probing into their mind unless I transfer to another being. And then that being would have to make an intelligence saving throw to know whether or not, when the spell ends, as to whether or not I was probing into their mind.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it says they can make an intelligence check contested by mine. If it succeeds, the spell ends.
So, I mean, I do want to make sure that you understand who your targets are, though. Your initial targets.
I'm looking at the most important people.
Yeah, and also some of the most powerful wizards.
You could pick a safe second target.
And they're more than 30 feet away, so it really doesn't matter.
Hedrick's hope. Like, this is a momentous occasion. He's hoping that may factor in, would it be that distracting? Would he really cause for concern? Would he know that I did it? Would he know where my location was? Even if he did, I was just curious what he was thinking. I got caught up in the moment. So I'm an old man. I'm confused.
Okay, let me pose it to you a different way, just to make sure that you understand that there are other angles to look at this from. It's an incredible violation of someone's privacy and illegal. As Pregnart was scolded for detecting thoughts on Mildred's scutal boot, even though they are super tight, she was like, I would refrain from using any further mental manipulation magic at all, period.
And also, even though her nameplate was on her desk.
Well, okay, yeah.
So
bearing as much, I mean, Hedrick's not even 30 feet away from them. He would have to get way closer than I'm sure he would want to.
But I like the idea. I mean, you can still try that if you want to.
You could pick a safe second target, like one of us.
Yeah, but I think the point Fran's trying to make is regardless of whether I
they might know.
They might know. And I don't want to push a button and all of a sudden it's swallow the fish situation.
It's so hard for you guys just to follow the rules, isn't it? It's so hard for you to not just break laws all the time.
It's just that I forget. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to think of my abilities. The only thing I can do is naturally make a distraction. Like, I'm good at drawing attention when you need a diversion.
That's on the table. Then I guess,
We still have the sending stone, so we can still talk to each other.
I don't know. I feel like you can probably figure out, 90% of what someone's feeling just by, looking at them. Not everyone is blessed with the poker face that I have.
You're like the constant observer. Soaking it all in. Right.
After a few more moments, similar to the last reset, there is a brief pulse. Barely audible, but you just feel almost just like this little, and you see like this almost like little extra like burst of energy travel up the ley line up into space. And you hear some like gasps right from the crowd. Some people take their seats and move them further back, as they were just a little surprised by this. It didn't actually it wasn't like any sort of concussive, like there wasn't like a shockwave or anything like that would have like pushed you back, but you felt that like almost that low resonance of it as it happened. And Philbert's like, yeah, that's new too. That's never happened before.
Never happened before.
How are you so sure?
I mean, okay, as long as I've been alive, I've never seen anything besides just a straight up beam of light from this.
But you're not sure it's abnormal to what should actually be happening. Because nobody here has ever seen this before.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just a kid, all right? Like, I've read a bunch of books. My dad's told me a lot of stuff. I've never heard of the ley line doing this before. What do you want me to tell you? All right, I'm not as smart as my dad. Is that what you wanted me to hear? What did you hear me say, no. Hedrick?
A good scientist keeps his mind open to all possibilities. I'm not judging you, son.
Okay, well, I'm saying that there's a possibility here that something is still wrong. This feels wrong.
Good. Let's go with the gut. I don't think we're out of the woods yet here.
Should we check on the Modron?
Yeah, Hedrick's curious. You guys have talked a lot about them before, and he's never met one.
Well, we'd at least be able to get eyes on. We still haven't figured out how we're going to interact with it.
So wait, you want me to go in there then?
You wouldn't be going alone.
Would you be able to send one of us in there?
I don't know how long we have. It's going to probably take some time for you to attune to my dad's one. Also, do any of you know the spell teleportation?
I think our idea will work fine. If
that's a no.
If Hedrick brings me first with you, I think you'll be the safest.
Yeah, I'm actually surprisingly calm standing next to you for some reason.
Yes, I know. It feels great, doesn't it?
Bask in my glory.
Okay. Like, what do we like? Do we try to help him? Or like, what should we do when we like see him? Like, I mean, I don't know how it's going to react. Like, if it's
hard to tell with Modrons exactly what to expect. But first and foremost, we need to get somewhere safe to perform the spells without anyone noticing.
Yeah. We want to take this off of Tower grounds.
Yeah, one way or the other, you're going to have to communicate to the Modron that we are allies and we are going to help you. Because I don't see him wanting to get involved with anything else other than his plans. So if we can convince him we're going to try to help him with his plans, then you might be able to pull him out.
Okay. Well, I guess let's try it. Let's try to get in there. Let's make our way out of the tower plaza here. Let's go find somewhere quiet that we can try to cast a spell. They have sensors all over the place here.
And isn't he's dressed like a what'd you say, a dwarven lady?
No,
or?
just a lady, just like a
Okay.
human lady, a human
Okay.
like young lady,
Okay.
but like with a hood,
All right.
and like
Is
however
there-
Boris made her up.
Is there a way to go out?
It's Filbert in full drag, essentially.
Is there a way to go out without walking past all the people? Like, is there a back exit or another
There's
part of the courtyard that we can go out from?
You can exit from each of the cardinal directions, as this is
Okay.
the center of this circular city, and there are paths that lead out.
It would just be good not to walk past his dad.
Yeah, well, he's still in sort of like that central area, right? They're like standing kind of near the steps and just like marveling at it all and talking amongst themselves.
Filbert, where do you think he would be right now?
I don't know. I guess he said he was going to meet me in my window. I don't know how else he was going to try to get in there. Maybe he's still at my house. Oh my
And
god, I'm
he-
like singing this song again.
I'll be home, I'm coming home.
Does he have the ability to teleport? It?
I actually don't know. That's what it seemed to need me for.
That's a different situation.
That's what it seemed to need me for. Hold on. I can try to scry on it.
Should we wait until we're safe out of the way first?
Oh yeah, not doing it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. Let's everyone's looking up. We might as well capitalize on that and get moving.
Okay. You guys move out of like, just like you guys walk out. I mean, which gate? Northeast, southwest? Is there like you guys entered in from the south? From the west. Yeah, from the west. Because the 9th and 10th ward are in that direction.
The
right?
east.
The west.
I mean, I guess whichever one is in the opposite direction of Ebenezer, right? Because Filbert's using his wand, so like being as far away from him as possible.
Yeah, I mean you can go
best plan.
south or west. It doesn't matter. Either one is fine.
X3.
Okay. No, no, Dave. No. We'll say y'all exit south. Yeah, so that'll take you between the 7th and 6th ward. So like it's a wide open road, and then on either side there are like smaller streets and then avenues that intersect that will take you into the other wards proper. But so right now you're in sort of this connecting like boulevard, sort of like this like collector road that like all the other ones are feeding into, that you can go north or south, north into like where like the Citadel area, right where the tower is and where the ley line is, and then out now you're just like kind of in like the nicer part of town in the wards. Plenty of places to like duck into. You can like duck into an alley somewhere, or you could like go find some like. I mean, it's the middle of the fucking night. Most people, if they're up, they're either like, like on their roofs or like looking out their windows, or they're asleep and just hoping they wake up tomorrow. And there's plenty of places you could go do some shady shit over here, is what I'm saying. Dave's smiling for some reason, and I'm not entirely sure why.
I don't know if Dave's entirely sure why.
Just some proactive counter DMing.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
If I smile
So-
first, it means you didn't.
My God. So, how are we executing this? How are we getting from here to there, and who's going?
Well,
Or do we want? Are you going along with Filbert saying he wants scrying on the Modron? Is that
let Filbert find the
Fair enough,
Modron
yeah.
first. That doesn't hurt. He's the one who knows what it even looks like. We're just guessing Modron in the local area. Like,
Okay. Let me give this a shot.
Wait, so searching for sexy Modrons in your local area.
right.
Let me just try to see if I could, find this guy, and then we'll worry about whatever it is that you're trying to find here. So he flips through his pages again. Okay, scrying. I've practiced this a few times. I should be able to get it done. Just bear with me. I'm gonna roll something for Filbert here. Lovely. He starts casting the spell. Now, Hedrick, you recognize some of the words. He's doing it in the arcane way. You play it up. You weave these words into the song, but he's just doing it the shortcut way. It's not as fun as Hedrick singing a song about scrying, but you can see that that wand that I described with all the gold and the that rectangular type shape to it. It's just it's glowing with power as he's casting the spell and reading from his spell book, reading all the words in order. He's making sure he doesn't skip anything. You just see him he's trying to he doesn't want to trace the words with his wand, right? Because he's got to move it in a certain direction, but he's trying to figure out, he's going through it slowly and meticulously. But then as he finishes the final word of the spell, there's almost just this big bright just spark that explodes from the tip of the wand, big flash of light, and then the spell ends, and there's a little bit of smoke coming from the tip of the wand, and he's you see him almost get he jumps back. He's that wasn't supposed to happen. And you see him, he's holding his temples now. So the way the scrying works is the way that Hedrick had described it, right? It creates a magical sensor. It's almost a little security camera.
It's a fifth level spell.
Right.
It's powerful. And he knows immediately that this is not what happens when he casts. He also understands that he's not a wizard. He doesn't use a wand.
Okay, he is a wizard.
But it's not his wand.
No, his wand is missing. But he managed to use it to get to the teleportation circle to meet you guys here. He says, yeah, that's what... No, because I had just used this. I cast spells with this before. This is not...
Well,
perhaps... You see him you see him holding his temple. He's I saw him, but I saw a lot of them. It doesn't make any sense.
You saw a lot of what? Modrons?
A lot of that. A lot of yeah. They were just this little boxy thing, but they were in different places. One of them was at my window.
Was it the same one?
I don't know. It all happened so fast. I didn't get a chance to see. The spell ended so quickly.
If I detect thoughts on Filbert, would I have visions of his thoughts, or would I just simply know his words?
I mean, you would. It's more again, surface level. You're going to get the general feeling, and then if you probe deeper, you might be able to possibly find that. But and if he's a willing creature, he doesn't have to make a save or anything.
Yeah. Filbert, I'm going to try to mind meld with you. Just bear with me.
That sounds kind of weird, man.
Oh.
Okay, but I trust you.
Yeah, Hedrick would want to then detect thoughts. I mean, this is Fool's Insight. He has this ability. He can do it 5 times a day if he wants to.
Perfect. So what you see, Hedrick, as you're probing into his thoughts, it almost feels fractured. Like his most recent memory here, right? As far as what he was thinking about, or what he's trying to focus on, right? Because he's trying really hard to remember what it is he just saw, and it almost feels like fractured pieces of something, where it's he saw multiple things at the same time, which is not how the spell's supposed to work.
Were they happening simultaneously?
It happened in such a flash that it's hard to tell. But I mean, yeah, it all happened at the same time.
Don't worry. We're gonna find this guy. I have a feeling he's gonna want to meet us. We're gonna be able to set things right for him, for you, for everything. He acknowledges that his head's all messed up at this point. He's definitely trying to be a little sympathetic for this guy.
Mm-hmm. Just then, there's another one of those pulses from the ley line. You feel you hear this one a little bit more audibly this time. You feel it a little bit more like in your chest, like when it pulses. And again, this like little bulge kind of light, like it just goes up to space.
I imagine it's like that sound effect from the seismic charges in Django Fett Ship. That's the greatest noise in sci-fi. I swear, it's the greatest noise in sci-fi. Anybody who's seen any of the Boba Fett stuff knows what I'm talking about.
You can almost see like this like aura on the moon now. Like, I mean, it's like shimmering brighter, right? And it's like it's almost swirling in and of itself, right? This like sparkling like aura. It's almost like moving in time with that like Aurora type of helix that's like spinning around the ley line. It's just like sort of this. It's everything sort of moving in unison. And it's just like getting brighter. It just seems to be getting like it's a little bit more intense, I feel like, than the last time you looked at it. Like it definitely looks like it's just brighter somehow. Like it's illuminating the sky and like everything around it. Like it's the dead of fucking night, but it's almost as bright as day right now.
We think an army of Modrons are using this convergence to find their lost member.
It seems unlikely, but I don't know Modrons that well.
I mean, they could. But if their plan required the assistance of Filbert, then why would their plan still be proceeding?
It seemed more like the rogue Modron was trying to have Filbert help him escape further. Not so much that the army or the general Modron home universe is trying to use him. In either case, we should try to find the rogue one here. Any other ideas on how to find it? We can go closer to Filbert's house, and I could just try to find if the Modron is there. I can do that. We could also go back to the ley line, and I could try to find if the Modron's there. It's up to us, really.
Or if they're the same Modron. It's how do we parse what actually happened with that scrying spell? With the supercharged wand, is it possible that searching that he's unable to distinguish between two different Modrons because all Modrons are literally exactly the same because that's how Modrons are designed. But the supercharged wand is still able to make it so, and he was able to temporarily scry literally every single Modron in the area, both rogue and non-rogue.
Are we 1,000 feet from the ley line still?
You're well over 1,000 feet from it at this point, probably.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to quantify like 1,000 feet, like in like paces from where you would have walked from to like where you are now. I think you probably are more than 1,000 feet away. You can still see it. I mean, it's very clear. It's a gigantic column of light that's going into the sky, like really hard to miss.
Yeah, but because you had mentioned earlier that sometimes Modrons function like objects. And I can locate objects.
Right.
Yes.
But you have to be familiar with the object.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just say Modron.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's that.
I don't care which Modron. I want to know if there's any Modron.
I mean,
all Modrons would be, by definition, entirely identical.
I mean, not all of them, right? I mean, there's if you're
the
really
different
gonna get into
clades or whatever.
Yeah, there's different shapes of them, but I mean, yes, they are like all kind of cut from the same cloth, so to speak.
And the nature of their realm doesn't allow them to be different.
Right. They all have very specific assigned purposes, and they cannot deviate from that. And any rogue Modrons, I think that 31 squared actually had to describe to you, are hunted down and destroyed.
I could check if there are any Modrons anywhere near the ley line, at least to start.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to withhold information here, so like you can try that if you want to.
Well, and also, this kid doesn't necessarily know how to cast these spells. Like, has he tried to cast that before, and it failed?
Probably, but not with his dad's wand.
He says, I could literally hear you talking about me.
Yeah, and I'm trying to do it in the most polite way, my friend. I mean, everybody's got to get somewhere to get what they're going.
Yes, I have cast this spell before, okay? I've cast it in class, like many times. My dad has taught me it to make sure that I can just like on basic stuff, okay? Like we're talking about a creature that it's from another plane. Like I don't know, man. Like we're dealing with stuff that's far beyond like what I've ever had to experience so far in my life.
I'm not even sure it's the person that you're trying to scry on. I think it's the timing of this convergence. I mean, where we came from, magic was getting fucked up, and things were not acting the way they normally would under typical circumstances. We've seen this thing before. We're just not really sure. We're picking all the answers together. Forgive me for being forward, but that's just how our line of process works.
I'm just confused because you said I'm the one who caused all of this, but yet things are still happening.
You know what? Fairly certain that having you with us is good. Okay? If nothing else, then it's not you. We know it's not you.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You're feeling confused. You're not really sure what's going on. You feel like you're in uncharted territory. That's good because that's exactly where we are. We are in uncharted territory. I wouldn't say we're any good at it, but I think we found out the secret, which is not failing, because we literally fail constantly. It's just that we look really, really, really good while doing it. But yeah, we're taking stabs in the dark here.
Inside in this shimmering aura now. Looking at the moon, because Boris, again, you're kind of always looking at stuff. Like you have this sort of just general like spatial and like sense to you with that high passive perception. It almost appears as though like this, like the shit, this shimmer now is almost like obfuscating the surface of the moon now, where the shimmer is now brighter than what is behind it. Like the surfaces that are behind it, you can almost and like it's so many different colors. It almost seems like they're taking some sort of shapes, right? Like it's almost like it's like a painting almost, right? Like where like you can start to see like certain shapes and patterns like forming in this like swirling energy.
Totally the Modrons, isn't it?
Well, I can cast the spell here, and we can just walk back and see if there's any Modrons. It lasts for a while. Unless we want to go to Filbert's house and cast it there to see if it's still at his house.
I feel like we're going to find out sooner rather than later, no matter what we do.
Yeah, probably.
Good.
Okay, so then are we agreed that I'm going to cast it and then we're just going to walk back? Because I can cast a spell here without it being detected, hopefully.
I think it's the best idea.
Okay. Jarrell says the word Modron out loud, waves his hand, and
your Modron radar is activated.
For the next 10 minutes, within 1,000 feet of me.
Okay. You start walking towards, back towards the tower.
Yep.
You're not getting the sense that there is any Modrons, at least on the surface here, 1,000 feet above you, 1,000 feet below you, in any direction, no Modron.
I communicate to the group. It's a good sign, at least.
Start.
As you guys are getting back into this plaza now, right? People are starting to feel a little bit there seems to be a little bit more there's a lot of chatter happening now, right? The people who were just sort of oohing and eyeing at this now are being is it when is this supposed to end? I thought shouldn't this okay, it happened, it's supposed to move on, what's going on? And some people are being what's happening? What is going on? They're yelling now at the people who at the people from the tower and whatnot, and you could hear Ebenezer just pipe up everyone remain calm. There's nothing to be concerned about yet at this stage. If anything, if you feel unsafe, just please return to your homes. Trust that those of us here at the tower will do everything in our power to protect you, but there is no cause to be alarmed. Please, we just ask everybody settle down. Again, we are dealing with a historical celestial event, and it will pass like any other. But then and as he finishes that speech, he does kind of you see him lean into where Mildred is and some of the other professors and whatnot. And they start talking amongst themselves a little bit, and they're looking up and then kind of you see one of them kind of point and shrug.
What about sending Philbert back to his home to check for the Modron? Philbert, if you were to go home and he were there, would you immediately go to where you were supposed to be?
I'll message Boris and let you guys know. I can do that.
Do we agree that maybe the Modron shouldn't be next to the ley line underground? Until we talk with it, at least.
Well,
not necessarily. We're not sure if this Modron has capabilities of succeeding. First attempt, it was just Philbert. Now he has all of us. Maybe he's got a better chance now. Maybe that's what it's going to take to right the wrong of the foul upheaval.
Is the Modron succeeding what we want?
We can't know that.
Right.
Yeah, not enough data.
Maybe you could read the Modron's thoughts, Hedrick.
If it has typical thoughts.
The shimmer on the moon, this aura and everything like that you're seeing now, again, that energy is continuing to look more and more like an image now. It almost looks like geological formations sitting atop massive gears, like mountains and sand dunes and all these things sitting atop these almost floating surfaces of these just gigantic gears. That's almost the image you're starting to see displayed on this swirling energy that's now covering the moon. It almost starting to look like a portal.
I fucking knew it.
And out from this portal now start swarming thousands upon thousands of different geometric metallic shapes with these tiny little wings wielding all these different spears and glowing things, and they just start pouring out, and you hear this booming voice. Citizens of timeline ZX1249. You have been found in breach of temporal protocols. Fear not. On this glorious day, all will be returned to order. And now people are like screaming and like this whole fucking thing is like all these different like modrons are like pouring out of this portal. You see Ebenezer and some of the other professors now start to begin to form like a protective like magical like sphere like around like this whole plaza square to help protect the people. And like it's now suddenly what was like a peaceful observation of a geological event is now complete and total panic. This voice that was booming out from the heavens has like rattled. I mean, like you can see like all the lights in the city. Like any citizen who was sleeping or who was trying to, just like ride this out until the morning is now wide awake. All the lights are on. Everyone is on high alert. And that's what we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Yay. That's fucked up. ZX1249, you done fucked up.
Yeah, I wrote it down too.
It either means something or it means nothing.
You never know.
ZX1249, you done breached them temporal protocols.
So, dear audience, hello. I know you love these cliffhangers. You love it when we suddenly build up to this really cool thing, and then we just make you wait a week for something else to happen. But
pretty sure that's how shows work.
That's literally how they do, huh? But if you like us, you could find us on the internet. Just search your social medias for Hapless Heroes Podcast. We're all over the friggin' place. But those places will have sticky posts that really will point you to crown jewel of our Discord presence.
The crown jewel of our Discord presence. Our online server.
God damn it. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Now we can't edit it out.
No, we can. You can find us on... Stop it. You can find us on all the different social medias. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Reddit, but really, you could really find in those places is a link to our Discord server, which is the crown jewel of our internet presence. I totally did not fuck that up. This is the first take that I've done of this outro and not any other.
Oh, definitely not.
We have an awesome Discord community of all different kinds of people in our audience. We, the cast, are hanging out in there. We're having conversations. We're talking about baking bread. We're talking about our animals. We're talking about D&D. We're helping people run their own games for the first time, or providing, just different. It's great. There's so many conversations happening in there. It's like hard to keep up sometimes, but that's like it makes me happy to see such an active community right now.
Come join it.
Like it just warms my heart. Yeah, come be a part of it.
We've got
Seriously.
over 100. Come join it so we can technically say we've got a couple hundred people there. I would like that.
Yeah, come on. Do it.
I want to get over 200.
That would be pretty cool. We would need more moderators, I think, once we get more people like that. But we could do that. So yeah, come join our Discord. It's great. But if you really, really like us, we would love it if you left a 5-star review or rating on the podcast service of your choice. All of it really helps us. And also, we'd just love to read all the nice things you say about us. And we're going to, if we see those things that you've said about us, we're going to say nice things back to you on the air right now, like right here. Yeah, no, me, I will. I personally, I don't care what anyone else does, okay? But like, I know that you're a 5-star human, so like, I'm gonna say some nice things back to you. So we encourage you to do that. We also have a channel in our Discord server called 5 Stars. If your podcast service doesn't offer you the ability to do that, you can also just email us, haplessheroes@gmail.com. Like, just drop us a line, say hello, tell us how much you love us, tell us how much you hate us. I don't care. Just come say hello and leave us a review. It'd be great. But if you really, really, really like us, you could donate to our Patreon. It's just patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a whole bunch of different rewards. I'm constantly clipping bloopers or like weird conversations we have like before we start recording the show, like whatever I can get to capture on microphone. And if I find interesting or funny enough, it just gets clipped and thrown on Patreon because I just, I love it. It's bonus content for all of you who've been supporting our show. And we have so many other things on there, and I just, it's one of those things where we're just so grateful for all the support we've received. It's really helped us keep the show running, helped us replace equipment as we've had to, transition to a remote recording situation. Like, it's just, we cannot thank you enough for all of your support. It really just, it makes us want to keep doing this forever.
And if you like us right now, you like us, Sally Field, and the whole deal. Get a person from Georgia, either the state or the country, to go into a dramatic valley of some sort and grow some really good-looking citrus fruits. That's right, a Georgian gorgeous orange gorge. I don't know. I was trying for a word avalanche. But, just do that. And goodbye. That's it.
I love
that
it.
one seems doable.
Yeah, so doable.
Gorgeous Georgian orange gorge?
Yeah, a gorgeous Georgian orange gorge.
Yeah, that's easy.
That's the correct syntax for that word avalanche.
Yes, where you can go gorge on oranges.
Yeah, gorge on the Georgian gorgeous oranges in the gorge.
Yes.
Woof. Sorry, Reinhach. Reinhach's the one who transcribes all of these into our Discord server and into the freaking fan wiki that we have, and we're sorry. Most of us are sorry.
I'm not sorry. In fact, you're welcome.
There you go. You've heard it here first, folks. Speaking of which, there's really nothing else left for me to do besides outro this lovely cast for you. So let's start on my virtual right with Lord Jarrell the Light, played by John.
Until next time.
Phil, Cedric the Entertainer.
I feel fine.
Zach is Pregnart.
This is a pretty cool show.
Nicole is Boris the Butcher.
This is new.
Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
I've never seen the sky do so many amazing things.
Sure. And Dave playing Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
Good night, everyone.
I'm Francesco. I've been your host and DM. Tune in next week where we're probably eating a fish. Bye-bye now.
Let's eat it.
Bye.
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 What, you don't think we're winning?